Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, and the original Orange Spine Easley Greyhawk book. All right, so I am finishing my collection of the Orange Spine Easleys. I have 11 out of 12. I only lack one, and that is the Dungeons and Dragons Orange Spine Easleys for the Monster Manual. I actually have Monster Manual 2, but I'm very, very close. And I just got from Noble Knight Games. I received shipped to me, beautiful shipping. I cannot say enough about Noble Knights Games. They just continue to crush it as my primary supplier for Dungeons and Dragons collectibles. They are fantastic. I just am thrilled with their service. I bought a Greyhawk book from them. 1987. This thing is close, it's like well over 35 years old. It looks virtually brand new. It has someone's name written in the inner cover, just the last name, Alloway, right? And it's just, I'm so thrilled with it. It's an absolutely stunning, beautiful book, and just incredible. So I read through it, and I will tell you right now. So here's my review of the 1987 Greyhawk book. Now, first of all, to my knowledge, Greyhawk was invented specifically by Gary Gygax. When they released the Orange Spine Easily in 1987, Gygax had been gone for 1 year. And I think it was done by, I think Greyhawk was finished out by Jim Ward, but it was, the creation of Gary Gygax, finished by Jim Ward, I think. And basically, so the book is someone else finishing Gygax's work and really kind of setting Greyhawk into cement for the Dungeons & Dragons 1E edition, first edition. And Dungeons & Dragons 2E does not start until 1989. That's the first time 2E is used in Dungeons & Dragons. It's the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2E, right? And that's what I consider the start of Dungeons & Dragons 2E. Everything before that is 1E, so I consider Greyhawk a 1E book. And by the way, I'm more than aware of a whole bunch of people saying, "Oh, there's a difference between OD&D and AD&D." There isn't, right? Like, it's complicated enough to track D&D 1E, D&D 2E, D&D 3E, D&D 4E, D&D 5E, and we're about to have 6E pretty soon, I'll bet. Right? So it's, in my opinion, the Greyhawk book is a 1E book. All right, so basically you have all this going on, right? And I finished this thing, and I'll tell you right now, here you go. Here's my review of the Dungeons & Dragons Greyhawk book. You can take Dungeons & Dragons Greyhawk and sweep it into the dustbin of history. It is 100% thoroughly unnecessary, unuseful, and completely redundant. It is not a useful setting for any edition, and honestly, I don't think they should do a single thing with Greyhawk for 5th edition. I read through the whole thing, and here's my issue: it's a good, solid Dungeons & Dragons fantasy realm, but it's so bog standard. It's just it's another version of Lord of the Rings with the file numbers, with the serial number filed off, and we already have that. Forgotten Realms, flat out, Ed Greenwood did a much better job. Forgotten Realms is far more successful, far more cemented, far more useful to Dungeons & Dragons than Greyhawk will ever be, and it will help Dungeons & Dragons if Greyhawk is forgotten, period. Right? And here's the thing. Gary Gygax does not need any more juice from a good setting. He's already famous. He's already, if he only invented Dungeons & Dragons, done and done. He does not need a setting to get more shine, right? And frankly, he didn't do a good job on this setting. It is not bad, but it is not good. There is just nothing there that really is not already accomplished by Tolkien, and that is not much more better accomplished by Forgotten Realms through Ed Greenwood and a lot of other host of authors. And yes, the other thing is there's real characters that have real shine, real momentum, real juice in Forgotten Realms, like Dritz like Bruenor Battlehammer, whole other ones. Dragonlance is distinct. There's some cool stuff there. there's just nothing really memorable in Greyhawk, and it is completely redundant, completely duplicative, excuse me, correcting that. It's just unnecessary. I love the book. I'm so proud to own it. I rub it on my face. I love that book. It is beautiful. It's a fun read. Greyhawk is not needed as a setting going forward. We can all forget it and put it in the dustbin. And actually, the less we do to even remember that Greyhawk exists, the better the game is, because it has too many settings already. All right, and we have real settings that have real purpose that we need to get to and get more momentum on. Planescape, Dark Sun, Birthright. These are really incredibly. Spelljammer. These are really distinct, really unique, really useful settings that we have nothing for in 5th edition. Scraps at best on some of them, right? And these are not worth being forgotten, in my opinion. These are unique, and they had real attempts to be distinct from Loader, and I think they should be explored in 5th edition. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.